Entrepreneurs aren't born, they are made through failures, breakthroughs, and relentless hustle. Welcome to the Empowered Entrepreneur TV show. This is your host Rohit Soni, airing across 185 countries, 26 plus TV networks, 100 plus podcast stations. This is where visionaries share their unfiltered journeys, strategies, and game changing insights. Your success story starts here. This is more than just a show, it's a movement. Watch, learn, and elevate. Welcome back to another exciting episode of the Empower Entrepreneur TV show. This is your host Rohit Soni again in front of you, and I'm bringing you something amazing today, like something that most of marketers are looking for. I keep getting these texts every day. When I got a text, I believe a few days ago, where we talked to Rohit, you're talking a lot about leadership. Why can't we just talk about marketing, which is your own forte? Then I said, okay, let's just do a show on marketing. Let's just do a show for you. Let's just do a show where we talk about not just marketing, we talk about sales. We talk about how to generate leads. We talk about how to be a king in the market by the king himself, right? So our guest today is going to be massive in terms of sharing all those insights with you. And he's big in the space right now. Big as in I've seen his journey. But even before I met him, he was pretty successful. But he took some time out there in the normal world to put his content on social media. And when it clicked big time. Over 200,000 followers on Instagram. And on top of that, not just that, he is creating massive impact for his own agency right now. So I'd like you to welcome on the stage, Arturo Johnson. How are you doing, my friend?
Yeah, I'm doing absolutely phenomenal. And it's definitely 100% an honor to be here with you, man. And before we even get started, I just want to say shout out to you, right? And one of the most important things is alignment. And the way that we actually got introduced was through your talents and the value that you had. That and ever since that introduction, right, you and I have been able to form a relationship and a partnership. You've been able to help me grow. You've been an integral part in that 212,000 followers on Instagram, because we started at 911.
350. 350. I have the screenshot.
250. Yeah. So it was I know, humble beginnings, but here we found something that clicked. We went viral. Absolutely insane. And so here we are today.
Well, 100%. And before we start today, I want to give you an intro for Arturo here as well. I just gave my insights before then. I want to introduce you from struggling insurance agent to helping over 1,200 professionals generate more than 100 million. Arturo Johnson has changed the way financial services scale. So it's not just his personal brand, which is big, his business is massive around the US and around the world. So on top of that, he has also helped thousands of agents scale smarter and faster through AI-driven systems. So, Arturo, would be awesome if you could tell us a little bit more about your journey in terms of marketing, how you started, and how you set up all this empire for yourself and for your family.
Yeah. So it really just started out with trying to solve my own problem in the beginning. So 2018, working in a restaurant and newly married. I'm trying to figure out all of this stuff at the same time. And I'm waiting tables at night and trying to sell life insurance during the day. And one of the problems that I kept running into was I got to the office every single day, got on a suit, woke up at 4:40 a.m., did my mindset, did all of my routines. But when I got to work, I didn't have anybody to talk to. And one of the biggest challenges that I was facing was I just felt like nobody could show me or explain to me how I was supposed to make sales and have success as a life insurance agent. So from there, I was like, well, how come no one has figured this out? Why is this such a big problem? And that's when I started doing online research and watching YouTube and really just trying to solve a problem for myself. And I stumbled across digital marketing. And shout out to Sam Ovens, the godfather of high ticket, right? He had this 3-hour webinar that I watched 3 times that I just could not believe that somebody was doing $100, $200, $300,000 a month. And again, this is back in 2019 before this stuff really even blew up, right? This is before the Alex Hormozis. This is before all of these other influencers in Miami. And it was just this using digital marketing. And from there, I went to his YouTube channel. And on one of the tabs on his YouTube channel, he had 3 gentlemen who had a niche of helping life insurance agents with digital marketing to generate clients. And I had an aha moment. I realized that I didn't want to be the insurance agent. I wanted to switch from being an agent to being one of those guys who were a consultant. So I didn't have the money, so I continued to wait tables. And I remember I ended up having to borrow like $600 from my mom to pay that first installment, because the course was $2K, but I ended up doing 5 payments of $6K in order to pay it off at that time. And ultimately, the people who were my colleagues ended up being my first initial clients, and that's where I was able to start my journey with entrepreneurship with uncertainty, a ton of doubt, but I had the mindset to just figure it out, right? Believing in my ability to figure it out. And that's really the number one thing that I got from Sam Evans is if you consistently put in the work and you show up every single day and you're learning, it's only a matter of time before you can achieve the goal that you have. And the only thing that's kind of holding you back from that success that you're trying to have is time. And over time, right, if you consistently show up, you'll get the reward you're looking for. So that was my journey from 2019 up until now. And since then, we've been able to work with thousands of insurance agents, have a ton of impact, and just really have a lot of fun revolutionizing the way people do client acquisition in this antiquated space.
Yeah, man. And one of the things that I want people to know is before even I started working with Arturo back in 2022, he was pretty successful. He had lots and lots of clients he was transforming. And the one thing that I was told on day one, Arturo, was, well, man, I have everything in place right now. The only thing that I don't have in place is personal branding. So what inspired you to start personal branding at that time? I understand you had a business in the start, but what inspired you to do that?
Well, one of the things that I was running into was a couple of competitors. Those were the things that I was missing. And I realized just looking at the biggest brands and the biggest companies in the United States, the one thing that they have is a brand. And so what is a brand? A brand is a story or a feeling that people get when that is attached to your name. And so I was like, well, what do people associate Arturo Johnson Consulting with? Well, people have multiple different words for it, which that's just as bad as not having any words. And I wanted to be known as the king of leads. And so that's when I went on this journey to really focus on personal branding and social media. And I took it serious. And just like anything else, right? Like you have to have intention behind it and you have to stick with it. And that's what happened. I mean, I wanted to quit tons of times. I think we even had to pause 1 or 2 times because I'm like, I don't know if this is really working. But what it all comes back down to is leverage. And so if you want to have a recession proof and a highly leveraged business, you need to have a personal brand in 2025 and beyond, because that's the thing that's going to make your business bulletproof.
Exactly. And to all our audience out there, I really want to share with you that I've seen this journey up and close. I've seen this journey. I've seen challenges. I've seen rejections. I've seen struggles myself. And when I see Arturo, I see that someone who I meet every single week, and he gives me one single advice every week. We meet, I believe, for uh, 52 times a year. We almost meet every week. And he shares with me that one insight every week where he talks about something that has happened for him that can change my own business. And that's one of the trait of leaders. And we'll get into leadership later on in the episode. But I just want to tell you that he's someone who actually elevates people. So if you're here and Arturo is here, Arturo's going to bring you up because of his skills. So we'll dive deeper into those parts as well. And we have to run into a quick break right now, Arturo. But when we come back, we'll talk about how Arturo went from Well, you really want to learn that, right? How Arturo went from zero to 6 plus 7 figures in less than 7 to 8 months. So when we'll come back, we'll share with you that, okay? I'll see you right on the corner. As a coach or a consultant, your focus should be on transforming lives, not struggling to get clients. That's where my company Amplify Media comes in to help you not just scale your business, but to consistently give you the revenue that your business deserves. We actually build a done for you lead generation acquisition system that brings in clients consistently so that you don't have to worry about where the next client is coming in. You focus on the most important thing that is scaling your business and impacting your own coaching clients. From high impact marketing and scroll stopping content to expert funnel creation, we take your business from point A to point B with precision. Coaches and consultants worldwide trust the company. We have over 277 plus clients, case studies all around the world, help tons and tons of businesses scale. So your next level is waiting. Let's make your brand unforgettable and visit the website today. I would love to offer you a free strategy session to share with you how we can help scale your business. Thank you. So hello everyone, welcome back to the Empowered Entrepreneur TV show after this short break. So today we have Arturo Johnson, the king of leads, all by himself, sharing with us amazing strategies. So when I have him on the stage again, here we go. So Arturo, we left all of them on a cliffhanger. How did you went from 0 to 7 plus figures in less than 10 months? How did you do that, my friend? What were the strategies? What was the mindset? What were the struggles that came in between that someone who's starting it out right now, who is struggling, needs that one advice that can change his life? So here we go.
Yeah. So, and it's funny because this is going to sound super cliche. One of the biggest challenges that I had to do was I had to release focusing on the goal. And the reason why I had to detach myself from the goal was because on a day-to-day basis, my emotions were going like this. I was on this roller coaster, and I realized that I was focusing more on the outcome than the inputs, and I needed to just focus on the inputs. And when I started focusing on the inputs, those were my wins every single day. And I just needed to stack enough of those, and then eventually something would happen, right? And so the number one thing that I did was like, how many how many outreaches do I need to do? And then ultimately, how many conversations do I need to have that lead to strategy sessions? And I let my input parameter, my KPI, be strategy sessions. And I needed to have 5 strategy sessions every single day. And when I started doing that, that's when the game changed for me, because at some point, right, like the law of large numbers was going to work in my favor. And that removed a lot of emotion from it, and it allowed me to be systematic. And then I just used a simple process, right? So if anybody who knows anything about Sam Ovens and the Consultant Accelerator, probably one of the best and probably the most thorough courses out there, if not the best. And he talks about singular focus. The way you do one thing is the way you do everything. And the one thing, he always talked about focus, which is follow one course of action until successful. And shiny object syndrome is a huge proponent to entrepreneurs in general. But then there's this other thing, is shiny strategy syndrome. So you got shiny object syndrome and you got shiny strategy, which is you start doing outreach for a little bit and you think you're going to get to 10K a month. And then in the first couple of days, you don't book that many calls. So then you're like, well, maybe I need to start using automations or mini chat, or maybe I need to start doing YouTube, or maybe I need to do X, Y, and Z. And you don't stick with it long enough. So what I started doing was I was like, until I get to $10,000 a month, I'm not changing my strategy. So it took me about 6 to 7 months to get there. And then that's when 6 months and 29 days exactly. And then from there, that's when my self-belief changed. I realized I could do it. I proved it to myself and to my partner. I stopped waiting tables at this point. I was a full-on entrepreneur at that time. And that's when it was like, okay, this has to work, or it has to work. And I really pushed the pedal to the metal. So from that 6 to 7 month range, I was it just seems kind of like it was luck a little bit. Like I was doing the actions, and then I was like, okay, I was still amazed that people who met me over the internet would give me their credit card and give me $1,000, $2,000, right? Then my internal belief and my identity shifted to I'm now officially a consultant because I had about 5 to 6 clients and one of them was getting profound results. So now I'm having an impact, which then gave me more conviction. And once I had that conviction, because I'm a pretty passionate person by nature, once I had that conviction, that's when I was like, oh, I can help everybody. And so I really went all in. And then in the first 18 months, we did 7 figures.
Well, and along that journey, one of the key things that you have identified that someone who's starting out should avoid and someone who's starting out should keep. Is there anything that you have learned in your own business in those 18 months?
Yeah, there's so many things. It's kind of like being a teenager, right, or a child. There's there's so many things to avoid and so many things that can go wrong. But the number one thing that can go wrong is if your belief in yourself starts to shift and wane, then there's 100% certainty that you're probably not going to hit your goals because you're going to have some good days and you're going to have some bad days, but you got to consistently show up. And the thing that most people, even talking with some people that I still mentor, is once they have a little bit of success, they stop doing the daily habits, right? The things that keep you grounded, the small wins. They get away from that, and then 90 days down the line, the success kind of dries up, and now you don't really have anything to kind of to anchor yourself to. So that would probably be one of the biggest pitfalls is never get away from the daily habits and the daily disciplines. And you can go to my story right now. You'll probably see the same thing every single day, even with the minor success that I'm having right now is my daily disciplines are exactly the same because those are my wins, right? I'm showing up for myself that my identity says that consistency is always going to win. Consistency and hard work is always going to win over a long period of time. So that's the number one pitfall that I would avoid is drinking the Kool-Aid and, thinking that you're hot stuff and not sticking to your consistent routine. And then the other thing is listening to the marketing, right, too much because marketing is magical. And even if we are entrepreneurs, we can fall into the trap of comparison. Right, people saying things that may or may not be true. They got the Lambo, they got the rented apartment, right? We can start to feel a little bit inferior and feeling like even though we're doing 10K a month or we're doing 20K a month or whatever it is, just because somebody's doing 50 to 100, we can feel like we're not, having success. And that's the kind of video game numbers that you can do online, but it's also distorted that somebody could be depressed doing $20,000 a month, right? And it happens all the time, right? And so comparing yourself and really listening to anybody that doesn't align with the values of who you are and align with who you want to be in the future. So, basically don't listen to everybody. Like find one mentor that is somebody that you would want to trade places with and stick to listening to them.
Yeah, and this is what I've also learned along the way that if you listen to too many people, you'll listen to no one in that case, and then you'll do something wrong anyways, right? You have to find one person who can guide you, who can support you, who can take your business life to the next level. You just need to put that trust. And I believe you should put trust in someone who has already done it, right? So in
Right.
your case, already built a business for yourself. So when you're guiding, your word matters, right? I'm not just talking about any guru. I'm talking about a guru who knows his stuff. So the key things that I see young entrepreneurs and the mistake that they make, I feel, is they tend to work with someone who just shows a lifestyle but who doesn't have authenticity. But in your case, I can see that you have authenticity because you built a business and you're still having lots and lots of clients yourself apart from the personal branding. So, to anyone out there who wants to grow their business, who wants to scale their business, get more leads, I highly suggest you to mention and work with Arturo Johnson. I'll put all the details and the contact information below. So, shifting gears, Arturo, tell us a little bit more about Arturo Johnson Consulting. If someone's starting out, how your company can help them scale?
Yeah, so Arturo Johnson Consulting is a mastermind lead generation for life insurance agency. And so we build customized marketing systems and solutions for life insurance agents particularly independent life insurance agents who are already either trying to run their own leads or they're already using some sort of pay per lead system, and it's not yielding either the quantity or the quality of the people that they're looking to get in front of. And a lot of times that really just comes down to the communication of the marketing and the systems that they have. And I just had the luck of learning from the best funnel guy, right? Like for somebody to do $30 million off of one funnel, right? That guy knows a thing or two about Facebook ads and funnels and Sam Ovens. And that was the person that I sat under the tutelage for 4 years, right? I bought the Consultant Accelerator for $2K. Then I joined Up Level, and then I was in his $36,000 per year mastermind for 2.5, 3 years before he shut it down and created school and joined forces with Alex Hormozi. So, yeah, that was pretty much the encompassment of what we do for services. But our program isn't just lead generation. It's a mastermind program with a done for you service attached to it. So we essentially have a service that we offer, but we do the group coaching where we have a weekly call. We do in-person mastermind every quarter, which is like sales, personal development, training, and stuff of that nature, teaching about leadership and how to actually be a A+ entrepreneur. And with that compass, with the high quality expertise of generating leads, clients are, having a ton of success.
And I understand that sometimes when someone who's starting out, they might have this challenge, okay, what if it doesn't work out? What if I'm investing with your consultancy, what if it doesn't work out? So what would your message be in that case? Because again, because you have massive results, which we'll talk later in the show, what would you say to someone who's saying, right, okay, Arturo, I feel like, okay, you have amazing stuff, but what if it doesn't work out? What your advice would be to that person? Because a lot of people who feel, I see that success story, but can that be me? So that's self-doubt sometimes creeps in, even when I see sometimes, right?
Yeah, we are human, so there's always a moment where self-doubt creeps in. That's just a part of our brain trying to protect us from danger. But what I tend to notice is things in the mind tend to always be way worse than they actually are in reality, right? That conversation that you've been putting off having with letting firing a client or with your boss or with your partner, whatever. In your mind, it's so much more and it's such a bigger monster. It's going to be such a bigger fallout than it actually is. And that's your mind just trying to protect you from danger. So with that being said, if it's not already working for you, if you're already unhappy with where you are, if you're not where you want to be and you don't feel fulfilled and you're just kind of just trudging through life and you feel mediocre and you want to change, like what really left are you holding on to that you are trying to keep holding on to that you're not willing to risk? At this point, you're already at the bottom, like it can't get much worse. But if it just works just this one time, it could radically change your life, right? For a couple reasons. It can change your belief. It could change the way people respond and respect you. It could change your life financially, right? You can have another impact that could change other people's lives. And so at some point, there's always a great leader or a great event. Somebody had to take on the risk, draw a line in the sand and say, I'm going to be the one. So the question becomes, are you the one? And that's the question that you have to ask yourself. And if you are, then you're just going to have to take some risks, some calculated risks, right? You don't have to be reckless, but you're going to have to take some risks. There's no reward without the risk, right? You cannot get a return on investment without risking some sort of capital, whether it's time, energy, or money.
Yeah, and most agents, when I see they start out, they are still stuck on cold calls and they have all these dial days. So, how does your consultancy change those systems completely and create a lead gen system that constantly gets them high quality leads?
Yeah. So one of the biggest challenges that I realized I was having with being a life insurance agent is that guys just got burnt out. And I had this realization too. Just got burnt out. I got frustrated from chasing people to pick up the phone, chasing people to convince them that they filled out this form, convincing people to book a call, convincing people to show up to the call, convincing people and chasing them to get the policy, convincing them to keep the policy. And that's tiring. And one of the things that I wanted to change was, what if there was a way to create a system that had clients chasing me instead of the other way around? What if there was a way to attract people instead of chase? And shout out to Alberto Real. He was the first person that I heard say that. And he was one of those testimonials that I used to watch every single night of Sam Ovens, convincing myself that I needed to pull the trigger on his program for like 2 weeks. I watched it every single night before I went to bed, that if he could do it, right, and he was doing 100K a month, all I wanted to do was 10K per month. And that was the thing that I had to brainwash myself into doing. And so with that being said, right, I wanted to have people chasing me instead of the other way around. And the only way to do that was to use funnels and marketing. I needed to figure out what my messaging was. I needed to solve a specific problem, and I needed to speak to one specific person. And so I had to create a client avatar and create a marketing message. And these were things that I knew needed to be done, but I didn't have labels, systems, and processes for them. And Sam Ovens was one of the people who took everything and deconstructed it in this marketing space, and he put a name to it, and he put a process and a system to it. And once I realized that was what I was doing, I really honed in on that system. And so that's what we're specifically doing is we're not just generating another name, email address, and phone number of just a cold lead. We're generating warm prospects that are interested in the conversation. And maybe not everybody will, buy life insurance, but they all will be well educated and open to having a conversation with you. And that's what fuels the fire for life insurance agents, to get them to show up every single day and fight.
Yeah. And Arturo, one of the things that I've seen is, how is a person who wants to start right now, what would you say to him? Like, if I'm someone who wants to start out in insurance business, why would I need you? Why would I need your consultancy? Why can't I do it myself? So what would be your advice to that person? Because there are people who say, okay, I'll just watch YouTube and I'll do it by myself. So what's the difference between me starting out all by myself versus me starting out with a done-for-you marketing consultancy like you?
Yeah. So that's a great question. So just to be 100% transparent, the risk that is associated with anything, like I just said before, there is a risk associated with our program, and it is for beginner agents, right? So if you're a beginner agent and you don't know if you're independent or captive, if you don't have a ton of carriers, if you don't have product knowledge, if you don't have telesales skills, then a system like mine is going to be really risky. And we have that direct conversation and speak to clients and say, maybe 6 months down the road, maybe this isn't a good fit for you right now, and maybe you should probably go and cut your teeth and try a more simple and affordable system, because our program isn't cheap. And then come back. That way we can help you, because our program isn't going to turn a 2 into a 10. It's designed to take an already self-sufficient insurance agent who has tried multiple systems. They've had some results, and they've been working so hard that we just give them a system of efficiency that unlocks unlimited scale. And so this program is risky for a beginner agent. This is more for a seasoned veteran agent that's been doing this for a little while, that's not afraid of investing in themselves and the leads, but has also had a ton of reps on the phone, in person, closing sales.
Well, I'm loving this conversation. I'd like to know a lot more about Arturo Johnson Consulting at this point. I know our viewers want to know as well. So I'll have more questions upcoming, and we have to run into another quick break right now. So one thing that we'll discuss when we come back is what most agents get wrong about scaling, and one game-changing success story from Arturo's program that will help you understand why working with a company like his is more important than ever. So when we'll come back, we'll talk about it, right? I'll see you on the other side. As a coach or a consultant, your focus should be on transforming lives, not struggling to get clients. That's where my company Amplify Media comes in to help you not just scale your business, but to consistently give you the revenue that your business deserves. We actually build a done for you lead generation acquisition system that brings in clients consistently so that you don't have to worry about where the next client is coming in. You focus on the most important thing that is scaling your business and impacting your own coaching clients. From high impact marketing and scroll stopping content to expert funnel creation, we take your business from point A to point B with precision. Coaches and consultants worldwide trust the company. We have over 277 plus clients, case studies all around the world, help tons and tons of businesses scale. So your next level is waiting. Let's make your brand unforgettable and visit the website today. I would love to offer you a free strategy session to share with you how we can help scale your business. Thank you. Welcome back to the Empower Entrepreneur TV show. This is your host, Rohit Soni again. So while we were talking to Arturo, we talked a lot about scaling. We talked about AI, his company, how he has built his personal brand until now, how he has over 200,000 plus followers. That journey as well, we asked him about. Now we want to dive a little bit deeper into his coaching, right? Arturo, you have coached over 5,000 agents, right? And some of your success stories are nothing short of transformational. So, what are agents' most common mistake when scaling, and how your company helps them fix? And if you can just share with us one of your biggest success stories, so someone who's an aspiring agent wants to work, maybe take a point or two away.
Yeah. So, this is so funny because it seems simple, but this is the biggest thing that we find is that shiny strategy syndrome. This is the biggest thing that derails agents. Agent A, he searching, going from lead source to lead source, from strategy to strategy, trying to figure out how to get in front of more qualified people to make sales. Agent A finally finds something that actually works, and they start to get, let's just say, a 5x ROI. Right now, before they're getting a 1.2 to a 1.8, even maybe doubling their money, right, before lead spend, which is having to reinvest into their business. So they get it to work, they do that successful thing, and they're super excited. And then the first thing that they're thinking is, how can I get double the amount of leads, right? Because I want to go from doing a 5x ROI to a 10x ROI. And so instead of doubling down on something that's working, they try to go and find something adjacent, which again, they forget what's out there that wasn't working in the beginning. And now they're like, I want to see if I can get this $10 lead for $5 for the same amount of spend. And then they end back in the boat they were before, all to realize that it's happening again. And now they don't have the cash flow, the trust, or the wherewithal to hop back into a program that was working for them in the first place. And so they really just shift their focus to something like small hinges swing big doors, and they start tweaking things that don't actually need to be tweaking. And the most important metric in your business is your cost per acquisition, which then leads to your ROI. And they start, instead of working backwards from cost per acquisition, they start working forwards on cost per lead, which is basically, if you go from getting 100 leads to 200 leads at the same cost, now you've got to work twice as hard to make the same amount of return. But in their mind, they think, if I have more leads, I'm going to make more sales. But that doesn't necessarily attribute to twice the amount of money, because again, we're optimizing for the highest quality prospect that's open and interested. And it's going to require a little bit more of investment, because the qualification process is going to be a little bit higher. But more importantly, it's less work that you have to do on your end, as opposed to getting more leads that you didn't have to dial that are cold. So that's the biggest pattern that I see all the time. Agent A searches, burns through so much money, finally finds something to work. They work it for a little bit, and then they spend the rest of their time trying to find a way to get cheaper. That doesn't work.
Yeah. And one thing that I just saw want to talk to you about, why you're called the king of leads. Why is that?
Yeah, so it's funny, the name was just kind of kind of came about in a roundabout way. I can't remember who gave it to me, but Um, what happened is so we created so many different marketing campaigns that has revolutionized the insurance industry, where a lot of people have kind of copied it. Like we did something with first responders, and the most recent one was veteran leads that we created, and it completely took the market by storm. And so we've kind of had this trend-setting effect that, which is why I led into personal branding, because I was always the best at leads, but everybody didn't know me as the best, right? So you can be the best, but if nobody knows you're the best, then that doesn't matter. This is the best known game, not the best. This is the best known game. And once I realized that was why I was spinning my wheels and I wasn't growing, I was like, oh, more people need to know about my brand. So when somebody says Arturo Johnson, he's the king of leads.
Yeah, and I remember, right, whenever I talk to someone in the US who is into financial services or into insurance services, who's a coach or consultant, even if I mention you that I'm working with you, they know about you, right? Or someone would tell me, oh, Rohit, I went to your profile and saw Arturo's endorsement there or his testimonial there. So that kind of shows that a lot of people in the industry already know you, right? And when they know you and like you, trust you, they work with you. So it's quite, I won't say it's surprising, but that's something that tells me, okay, you're big in the space already, like big as in massive in the space. There's a reason these people call you king of leads. And in terms of leads, right? Even in my own business, right? We have leads and stuff. So how do you guys like qualify people from good and bad? Like, is this a qualified person? Are there any separate qualification things that you do in terms of Arturo Johnson Consulting that sets you guys apart from other agency who does the same in terms of qualifying the leads? That's a very important part because people who work with you don't want to waste time with anyone.
Yeah, exactly. And again, I get that a lot on sales calls. What makes me different from all other agencies? And I'm always like, well, I'm not sure exactly what they're doing in the agency because I don't work for them. But what I can do is speak for why my clients get results. And it's because it's direct and it's clear marketing, right? And so what most insurance agents pay for and what they get is there's an ad for a free lunch and learn, free Walmart gift card, something bait and switch, and they pay $1,000 for 200 name and numbers, and they're like, oh, I got all of this, I'm about to get rich. And what we do instead is we invert that. We start at the end, right? Keep the end in mind, and we start at the end, and we want to get them sold on the process. So whether that's talking about the illustration or talking about the death benefit or breaking down something that is the main focus of why this financial product is could be a great fit for them, because we want them to already be sold on the process, so we don't have to convince them. And we want them to already be knowledgeable about the product, right? Because that makes them solution and product aware. And if we know that is the top two for the hierarchy of people buying, and we're looking for the 3% that are ready to buy or the 10%, and solution aware and product aware are at the top, if I'm not mistaken. And so that's what we want them to be focused on, is a solution and the product that can help them to get there. And that bridge to their solution is that product. And we try to inform over that with our content and marketing. And so that's the thing that makes us more expensive and the best, is because people already have intent and understanding of what they're getting into when they hop on a sales call with our clients who are life insurance agents.
Well, to anyone who's watching this, I will highly suggest you to connect with Arturo Johnson Consulting. I'm putting the link on the banner here. So if you have any questions, any clarity session you want to need, he would love to offer that to you. And you can decide for yourself if you actually want to get real high quality leads consistent for your business. That's your destination. So we have to run into another break right now, guys. And we shift our focus when we come back to marketing brand authority and how Arturo Johnson built a community of 200,000 plus people on Instagram. What were the steps he took, and how you can also scale your own presence when we come back. So we'll come back after this short break. I'll see you on the other side. As a coach or a consultant, your focus should be on transforming lives, not struggling to get clients. That's where my company Amplify Media comes in to help you not just scale your business, but to consistently give you the revenue that your business deserves. We actually build a done for you lead generation acquisition system that brings in clients consistently so that you don't have to worry about where the next client is coming in. You focus on the most important thing that is scaling your business and impacting your own coaching clients. From high impact marketing and scroll stopping content to expert funnel creation, we take your business from point A to point B with precision. Coaches and consultants worldwide trust the company. We have over 277 plus clients, case studies all around the world, help tons and tons of businesses scale. So your next level is waiting. Let's make your brand unforgettable and visit the website today. I would love to offer you a free strategy session to share with you how we can help scale your business. Thank you. Welcome back to the Empowered Entrepreneur TV show. This is your host, Rohit Soni. And you're not just building systems, Arturo, you're also building a top, and your content plays a huge part into that, right? So let's just talk about content. Let's just talk about something that we are doing consistently. We have achieved amazing success with you. And I believe that's all your hard work, right? That's all your consistency. And I see you going to the gym every day. I see you going to work out, you spending quality time with your family as well. How you adjust all those things together while building a business and scaling your online presence? That's the first question before we dive deep into the questions of how to scale.
Yeah, I think that you know, for people that are trying to create content, is always trying to come up with this idea. And I can't remember who I learned this from, but I realized that we are the content, right? Like people are on social media to see what's going on in other people's lives all across the world, right? We're all different. We all different walks of life. We all have different experiences, and so we follow people because we want to look at something that's different than where we are currently. And so, one of the things that I started doing was showing instead of just telling. A lot of my content was talking head before, where I had to come up with, like, I was doing YouTube videos and it just felt unnatural too. So I wasn't consistent with it. And once I started just like, oh, this is things that I'm actually incorporating and doing every single day, right? Getting up and doing my morning routine. I'm doing that every single day. So I just started pressing record. That was the number one. And I learned that from Myron Golden. It's like, you're already doing the thing. You just need to document it. And so once I got on this journey of documenting, right, like everything, I was posting a bunch of stuff and I realized that there was 1 to 3 things that was getting some traction and getting the most engagement. And that's when I realized most people wanted to see that.
Exactly. And at this point, Arturo, like I know your morning routine. I believe whole of your Instagram family knows it. You wake up, you have that coffee, you always go out in your car, you have a protein shake on the right of your car. There's a song going on, a break, and then either it's snowing, either it's overcast condition, or either it's sunshine. All three weathers I've seen, and then you're going, and after that you do the gym. There's a picture or you doing treadmill or you lifting weights. After that, it's you doing a call with your team. Okay, you going back, you're doing a call with your team, then you're doing call with your coaching team, and you're consulting your clients. Well, we know you're, and some of the days at the end, you'll take your kid to the barber, your son to the barber. And other than that, we kind of know your morning routine at this
Yeah, well,
point.
so that's the point of that too. It's just like it's a TV show. It's a reality show that you just turn the camera on and you're already doing the things. And I think that people just devalue what they're doing, that people wouldn't be interested. But we're so interested in what everybody else is doing, right? It allows us to just decompress to the stresses of whatever we've got going on, right? Because we've all got some type of stress going on, some pull of attention that needs us, whether it's a client, whether it's a bill, right? Whether it's a partner, whether it's something where you need to get your license renewed, whatever it is, we got these stresses going on. And just for a second, we can displace reality and see somebody working out on the beach in San Diego when we're sitting on our couch, right? Stress, it's great. So when you start realizing that everything's interesting because you're interesting, because other people are interested, just because they aren't doing exactly what you're doing at that moment, there's a contrast there that it's like, oh, this becomes easy. I am the content, so I just need to press record. I need to be consistent. I need to show up every single day. and I need to have intention behind it. So that was the realization of the personal brand. And it really just comes down to consistency, because one of the things that most people make the mistake on is just trying it, and then when it doesn't work, saying that it doesn't work. And it's the truth is that you just didn't stick with it long enough to learn the lessons and do it enough times that it doesn't work until you do it enough times to where it works, and continue to do it until you're so good that it just cannot work.
Exactly. And I feel like doing these things consistently gives you self-respect, it boosts your self-image. And when it boosts your self-image, you want to keep doing it every day because you don't want to disappoint yourself. And I guess that's a very good place to be in. Yes, it puts like pressure on you to do it every day, but I believe people who go through uncomfortable problems first makes the best out of each situation when they're put into that situation. So I believe when I see your content, I get inspired each and every day. Okay, yeah, if Arturo can do it, so can I. Why can't I? Right?
Yeah,
That's the same
that's
as
where you
receiving.
draw your power from. Is you know that somebody's going through something difficult and they still do it every single day. And again, people online can be polarizing, but there's the thing with Wes Watson. One of the things that I notice about him, whatever's going on in his life, or rob the bank, very polarizing people. Whatever they have going on, they still show up every single day. And that was like, huh. So no matter what, they still do the work. And despite the life events that they have going on, despite losing the business or some personal stuff happening, these guys still showed up, and I was like, oh, well, I can do that part. That's the only thing I can control. So showing up every single day in the business, right? Posting content, that consistent piece, it gives you a small win every single day, because by the time I've posted 4 or 5 things, people are still in bed. I've been up for a couple hours. I've already done so much stuff, and now people are watching me, and now I'm getting started in my day. I'm winning. So, um, that's one of the strategies that I like to implement. And again, it comes back down to those are things that I'm doing every single day already. So I'm just recording it.
And on not just recording it, you're documenting it in a way that inspires people to take daily steps and actions so they can implement. Because if I'm on bed and I see you going to gym, I'll say, okay, he went to the gym. Okay, I need to go as well. What am I doing?
Yes.
It
Yeah.
inspires me, right?
Yeah,
And
because
how
you know what though, I moved to Indiana and I complained about the cold so much, but when I was making that drive and it was dark and in the snow, like my content was just blowing up even more, because most people are only going when the weather's nice, but I was going every single day when there was snow on the ground, where I'm driving to this country club, but you couldn't see it because it was all covered in snow, so that was different. And I still went every single day. And now that it's beautiful outside, you can see that it's green. But it's like, man, I've been watching him every single day as the seasons are changing.
exactly. And how have you used that as an asset for you in terms of building your following? Because again, the same principle applies to following as well, right? Your
Yeah,
business, your social media. You have to do it consistently, even on the days when you don't feel like, no matter the
yeah,
weather, I'll shoot content sometimes. You got
yeah.
to
So you
document.
just have to look at these things as principles that, like, you like all of these things in your life are just characters, right? So your character. Maybe you got a cool vehicle that's a character. Maybe you got a watch. That's one character. And all of these characters kind of play like uh the place where I go to work out is really nice on the golf course. Like that's a character. The house that I live in is a character. The backyard's a character. The sunset. All these things are characters. And if you capture those and share them in a way that's entertaining, because you just put music behind it on social media, now you can create these scenes. So you have characters, then you record them and you add music to it, and now you have these scenes. And over the course of a day, you end up having a reality show for a day. And so now you got 365 days of endless content.
Exactly. And like, is there any strategy you like to share with us on how to grow your following base, right? Any type of content that you believe is working, anything that you tried that went viral? I believe you have 5 to 6 videos over a million and two videos over 2 million. So could you share your advice on that, please?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing with the content is is I just started making it lifestyle, fitness, and motivation, right? And the reason why I landed on those three things was because anybody can come and consume your content and get some value from it, right? The lifestyle, it can inspire someone that but it also can show someone who is a peer of yours that you guys have something in common, so it's a conversation starter. um the fitness thing, which is it's the self-improvement, it's the discipline, it's the motivation, right? You can't fake the fitness, right? And so when you're doing that consistently, is doing something hard every single day, that puts you in that 1% realm where it's like, okay, you want to be around people like that. Then the motivation, right? You need to have the mindset, the skill set, and the tool set to do things. And the motivation is the thing that wraps it all together. It's the drive, it's the inspiration that even when you don't feel like doing it, just hearing that one word that if I can do it, you can do it. Or on this day when I was tired, I still did it anyway. Or shut up and just go and do it anyway, even though you don't feel like it. Or you can make it through this. Whatever that is, it's that one impact of some words that just gets you to keep going, right? So those three things, the lifestyle, the fitness, and the motivation. Once I uncovered that was the strategy, I just focused on that. And then the brand just grew from there, right? And again, it was intentional, right? It was high quality content, images, copywriting, storytelling, intentional about the scenes and the framing. Like all of those things were intentional, but the main principle from those were lifestyle, motivation, and fitness.
Exactly. And one last question for the day because we are running out of time. What are the next moves for Arturo? Is there any big moves we should keep an eye out for in this year?
At this point right now, I'm just in this phase of really starting to focus more on helping people build a personal brand, and really talking more about stepping up, because I realized that the one of the biggest things that holds most people back is how they're going to show up and how other people are going to perceive them, and it really comes down to that kind of like self-belief. And so I'm really trying to inspire people that you are interested, you do have a message to share, you do have a purpose, and people are always looking for a cause and something to follow. And if you're passionate about what you do, if you're an expert what you do and you're good at what you're doing and you're helping people, then you have a calling to kind of share that, because that could be that one person that just has self-belief, self-doubt, limiting self-belief and self-doubt that they can't do it. And if you can say, man, if I can do it, if I can come from the south side of Chicago with a single mom, most people that I know don't make it to for past the age of 25 to sit here and have built my dream life. I have a beautiful family and a house that we built from the ground up. We hand selected every piece of wood and tile in this, to have an amazing partner, and still have challenges in my life, and still need to practice gratitude. But to have built all of that from where I come from, I'm not supposed to be here. If I can do that, anybody can do it.
100%. And Arturo, before we leave, I have a quick rapid fire for you. Are you ready for it?
Yes.
Perfect. Cold call or warm lead?
Warm leads.
Morning routine must have.
Morning routine.
Okay. One sales book every agent should read.
Everyone, the Alex Hormozi $100 million sales. What is it? $100 million leads? Is that what it is?
Offers.
Yeah, $100 million offers. Yes.
That's amazing, yeah. And what's your personal definition of freedom to close out the show?
Personal definition of freedom is to be able to design the life that you want, and to be able to create the moments in life where you can find them, fund them, and fulfill them, all on your personal fortitude and creation, from building the business that can generate that kind of income that can help you to provide resources to do anything in life. So that's my definition of freedom.
Well, Arturo, thanks a lot, my friend, for being on the show today. It was a pleasure having you, learn from you, understand your strategies, your success story, and most importantly, inspiring a generation who wants to grow their business in terms of marketing. So I really appreciate you showing up on the show and wishing you the best in your journey ahead.
For sure, man. Definitely was lots of fun. Thank you so much for having me on.
Thanks a lot, brother. Have a great day.
Peace.
Success isn't for the chosen few. It's for those who choose to show up, take action, and never back down. This is the Empower Entrepreneur, hosted by Rohit Soni, airing across 185 countries, 26 plus TV networks, and 100 plus podcast stations. You've heard the strategies, you've seen the mindset. Now it's time to execute. I'll see you next week, every Thursday at 5 p.m. Pacific and 8 p.m. Eastern. Go, build, dominate. Until next time, stay empowered.